Pauly Long at this podcast right now. And that's my life story. From 10 years old to 27 years old, I basically just drifted through life. Everything in my life was just wrong. I had $300 in my bank account. I had 2 credit cards to live off of. No job, no income. January, we left for Bali. And I got here for the first time in January 2020. I fly to Philippines for a 4-day trip to renew my visa. COVID hits, boom, lockdown. Can't get out of Philippines, stuck in a village. I bailed. I went back to the States. I'm gonna move to California. I'm gonna start my new life. Got a call from the friend who my suitcase was at the villa of. I can't make this up, man. This is like, it's like a movie script, but it was all real. First week of December, I fly out here, met my wife 2 weeks later, and now we have 3 kids.
Have you always treated your content like a business?
No. Without those testes, I would not be who I am right now.
No
That
way.
was the catapult, bro. I signed a contract with myself. And I said, I am posting every single day. From here on out, I will never miss a day on TikTok. And I'm gonna blow up. I'm gonna be a famous content creator. I have my most viral video ever to this day. It was how to eat a testicle in 3 steps. I hit 1 million followers.
One day, when your kids grow up, and if they listen or watch this conversation, what is the one message you'd want them to take away from their father's story?
Whoa, that's a deep question, man.
If I could have one moment of your time. Most of you guys listening or watching do not subscribe to the channel. The simple and easiest way to help and support us is to subscribe. It helps us get the guests that you guys want, and it gives us a more opportunity to grow this thing to where we want to take it. Thank you so much. Enjoy the episode. Kia ora. Pauly Long, welcome to the Martin Show, brother.
Let's go, bro.
Pauly, everyone will look at your life now, right? Like we're just talking about, they see the millions of followers, you living in Bali, beautiful wife, family of 3. But that's not where the story starts.
No.
So what do we need to know about you, bro? I guess the version of you before all of this, before Bali, before faith, before family. Who was Pauly back then?
I am just a normal dude, honestly. I'm a normal dude for most of my life. And I was born in Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania in the States. And my parents split up when I was 2. I grew up in Connecticut, living with my mom and my grandma. Only saw my dad every 3 weeks as a kid. Every Friday on the 3rd week, my mom and I would get in the car, drive 2 to 4 hours to New Jersey, get out of the car, hop in my dad's car, drive another 2 to 4 hours back to PA, go to bed, wake up, spend Saturday, go to bed, have breakfast Sunday, do the same thing in reverse, and then not see my dad for another 3 weeks. And that's how it was till I was 10 years old. Parents finally decided to get me closer together with both of them. So my mom moved back to Pennsylvania. And then I just, bro, from 10 years old to 27 years old, I basically just drifted through life for 17 years in Pennsylvania, doing a whole lot of nothing, just living a very, very average life, working jobs. I graduated high school at 18 and went right to university. Before the first semester even started, I got an underage and blacked out and got thrown in the drunk tank. Literally before classes. So we were there for like orientation week and I'd already gotten arrested. So I had to call my parents and be like, yeah, I messed up, you know? So that happened. And then, yeah, I finished the first semester with a 1.0 GPA, like completely bombed, went home for winter break. My parents were like, what's going on? And I was like, sorry, I'll get it together. Went back, developed a marijuana dependency, was hooked on weed 24/7, dropped out of college by April 1st, went back home, moved in with my mom and my stepdad, worked jobs for like odd jobs off and on for like 3 years. And then finally moved out, got a place with some roommates, got a job at the gym at LA Fitness gym chain. And I was with them for like 4 years. And then I finally quit there. I joined a real estate team and started to get my real estate license. By now it's 2019. And I was with them for 3 months. And during that 3 months is when I got on Instagram and started looking for a way out of this hellhole that I was stuck in, because I hated my life and my 20s were brutal and I had tons of encounters with alcohol and weed, and I was a womanizer, and I was just hooked on all these things to try and numb myself of the fact that I wasn't happy with who I was. I wasn't happy with my life. I wasn't happy with anything. I hated myself. I hated everything. I was angry. I was just so rocked in the head. I didn't have a good relationship with God. I didn't have a good relationship with really anybody. And I had the wrong group of friends and everything. Just everything in my life was just wrong. And it kept getting worse and worse. And so in May of 2019, I decided to invest in myself. And I hired two different mentors to teach me. One was teaching me about ecom, one was teaching me about Instagram. And I was just made myself an open book. I started reading personal development, and I learned that there's a whole nother world out there that I had no idea even existed. And I'm looking at all these 20-year-olds driving Lambos and stuff. And I'm like, what is going on right now? Why am I sitting in this office making cold calls? Right. I was like, this is crazy, dude. I'm sleeping, you know? So I started to wake up, and then I was like, okay, there's a whole new life out there. And so the kid that I paid the ecom mentorship to offered to fly me out to Arizona with meet him and his team and stay with him in his cool condo. And I was like, oh, cool, this is great. And I got there, and this kid's 21. I walk into his apartment. There's like dog poop on the floor. The door had a hole punched in it. This kid was a mess, right? And but it was like, it got me there, and it got me around other kids and other dudes doing the same stuff. And I was 27 at the time. So like I was with a bunch of like 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds, 27. I was like I was like the old head, you know. Yeah. But it got me there, and I met now one of my best friends, Colin Yerkison. Shout out to Colin. And he was doing the same thing, paid the same two guys for the same mentorships. He was from Jersey, I was from Philly, or like basically next door neighbors. And we hit it off, became boys. Within a month, we realized these people sucked. We bounced.
Wow.
And then he was like, bro, let's travel. Let's explore life. Let's get crazy. And I was like, all right, I'm down. Let's go. I just followed him. And he was like, we got to go abroad. Right. He's like, you ever traveled overseas? And I'm like, nope. And he's like, oh my God, let's go. He's like, let's go, maybe Philippines. And then he was like, no, let's go to Thailand. And then he finds Bali. He's like, bro, there's this place called Bali. It's epic. He was like, they call it the digital nomad island. It's he's like, we gotta go. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. You know? So this is by now I had been living in Arizona. So when that kid flew me out there, I skipped a part. When that kid flew me out there, I stayed on his couch for 2 weeks. So I slept on his kid's couch for 2 weeks with like a little Toy Story blanket at 27 years old. I'm like, what am I doing? Right. But I made it happen. I networked my face off. I met all these people, flew back home, packed up my car a week later, and just drove out there. I had $300 in my bank account. I had 2 credit cards to live off of. No job, no income. Drove out there, learned affiliate marketing, started selling services and info products for other people to get a commission through my Instagram, and just cold DMing people and getting on sales calls. Made it work. And then, I left those people, you know, just was there for like 4 months, traveled to a little bit in the States. And then by January, we left for Bali. And I got here for the first time in January 2020. And I was here for a month, fell in love with it, wanted to stay. He left. I flew out and flew back in to renew my 30-day visa, spent another month here. And then I was like, great, this is it. I'm going to do this now. This is my new life. I'm going to figure it out as I go. 30 days goes by. I fly to Philippines for a 4-day trip to renew my visa. COVID hits. Boom. Lockdown. Can't get out of Philippines. Stuck in a village. Cops patrolling with AK-47s. Won't even let us leave the guest house. It's me by myself in a guest house with an entire Spanish family and 5 Filipino workers. And it was like the craziest week. Like we just did nothing. We just like sat around and drank beer and like ate food and just sat in our rooms waiting to be released. And then we finally got a rescue bus at like 4 a.m. They send a huge bus to pick up 50 plus tourists. It was the weirdest thing. And the Spanish grandma must have been like the Mexican cartel or something. I don't know. Cause she was like, we got a rescue bus. It's coming at 3:30, a.m. We have to be out there by 3:15. And I was like, I can't make this up, man. This is like, it's like a movie script, but it was all real and it all happened. And we left and we got on this bus and we drove 7 hours down the mountain from Port Barton, Palawan Island, Philippines, down to Puerto Princesa, got on the plane, flew over to Manila. And I waited in Manila for 3 weeks for Bali to open. It did not open, as we all know.
Shit.
I had my suitcase here full of all my stuff. I bailed. I went back to the States, spent the year flying around the States, exploring the States. November, I flew out to California. I was going to book a lease okay, in an apartment. I was like, I'm going to sign a lease. I'm going to move to California. I'm going to start my new life. And that was my goal. And I flew out there. And the third day I was there, I got a call from the friend who my suitcase was at the villa of saying, yo, Bali's back open. And I'm like, what are the odds of that? Right? That was God. Like, hey, time to get back. Because I was about to sign a lease. And I waited 9 months from March to November, right? Or 8 months, okay? I waited 8 months from March to November. And I finally give up. And the third day I give up, after giving up and going to LA, I get that call. So I'm like, this is like universal sign. This is like God telling me to go back to Bali. I bail on California. I go back home. I spend a few more weeks with my family. First week of December, I fly out here, met my wife 2 weeks later. And now we have 3 kids. And here I am, Pauly Long, at this podcast right now. And that's my life story.
Wow.
And that's how I got
that
here.
Just filled me with so much mana, bro. That is crazy. I asked one question and I think the podcast is done now.
Wrap it up.
Wow.
It's over. No more questions. Get this mic out of my face.
I do want to go back. I do want to go back a bit to the 10 to 27-year-old that's sleeping. You know, you mentioned the word sleeping in there. I was sleeping.
Yeah.
So many individuals out there in that age group and even older than that as well are sleeping.
Yeah.
What helped you, bro? Or what do you think you needed during that time? Or even earlier?
Yeah, I will tell you what got me out of it was personal development books. So when I was working at the gym, like I told you in LA Fitness, the way the staffing was there is like I was the personal training director and I was like the manager of my gym of the personal training. And then I had my guys underneath me, my sales guys, and I sold as well. I had my trainers, and then each personal training director has a divisional vice president, the DVP, and then you have a regional vice president, the RVP. And so both my DVP and my RVP, shout out to Brad and Andrew, if you ever watch this. Both of those guys, very motivational factors in my life at that time. They were both always telling me, and actually the RVP Chad too, all 3 of them were always telling me, they're like, dude, you got so much potential. You got to be like building yourself. Stop acting like a kid. Because back then I was a schmuck, you know, I was just like chasing women 24/7 and acting like an idiot and getting blacked out on the weekends every single weekend. And then coming into work with a 2-day hangover on Monday from Saturday, feeling like crap, getting high on the job, right? Just like I was a mess, you know, and I had way too much freedom and way too much power at the gym because they would not fire me because I was good at the sales and they didn't want to lose a good sales guy, no matter how much of a mess I am, right? And so they were always telling me like, you got to start like reading. So all of them had recommended the 10X rule by Grant Cardone. And I finally picked it up in December of 2017. And I got the audiobook and I started listening to it on the way into work starting January 2018 after Christmas. And that was a pivotal moment. That like January 2018 is when I started listening to personal development, and Grant Cardone really changed a lot for me. And then I got into Gary Vee, and Gary Vee started like rocking my perspective on life, and Tony Robbins. And I started listening to Tony Robbins. So I just like immersed myself in personal development. And that without that, I would not be here right now. I would not, dude. Like, cause how do you know? How do you know where to go? How do you know how to change your thought patterns if you don't even know you have to, right? Like you don't know what you don't know. What's your teachability index? Back then, my teachability index was 0. My ability to be taught. It was 0. I was closed. I was a closed wall. So when I finally opened my mind and allowed things to pour in, it boosted my teachability index, and I was able to start taking in so much perspective on life that I had never seen before because I only had my very narrow lens that I looked through. So then my goggles got clearer and wider, and I was able to see so much more and start thinking differently. So it all starts with your thoughts. And then when your thoughts start changing, your beliefs start changing. So now I'm getting all these new thoughts, right? And what are books? Books are just thoughts of other people. So when you get all these thoughts through a book, you get a new perspective. All of a sudden, your belief systems all start changing. And belief systems are the foundation of everything, right? Because if you don't believe you can do it, you're not going to ever try. So now my belief systems start completely shifting. And now I'm like, oh, wait a second. I can actually do some shit in this life, right? Like this is getting exciting. So now I start believing things that I never believed before, which led to me taking new actions. And that's what made me make the crazy decision to pack my car and drive across the entire United States of America with $300 in my account off of credit card debt.
Yeah.
Right. So it really is books, man. Like books, I've read a lot of books and I don't regret a single one of them. They've all made a crucial impact on the way that I think, the way that I speak, the way that I act, the decisions I make, the way that I respond to certain things, the way that I handle certain situations, everything. Books will mold your brain because you're literally absorbing the perspective and the thoughts of someone who is already successful and wrote the book.
Yeah.
So if you want the cheat code to life, start reading some books.
Yeah, bro.
It's not that hard.
Welcome to the Martin Show First Ad Break. For anyone who is wanting to go on a new journey, learn a new skill, we have started our basic beginners boxing fundamentals course. For anyone, if it's your first time, if you're a seasoned member, this is the course for you in the boxing space or fitness space. Click the link below or go to onlineboxingtraining.com and I'll see you guys there. Let's get to mahi, eh? And you mentioned some big names in there, Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, all these guys. I'm listening to...
There's many more too.
Patrick Bet-David at the moment.
Oh,
Choose your enemies wisely.
love it.
Love it, bro. And but my question around that is, because you mentioned your dad earlier on in the conversation, is there something about men in particular or masculine energy that you felt you lacked in your earlier stages? Or were you craving some type of mentorship as you went through that journey?
Honestly, yeah, I think so. And I don't really talk about it that much, but for sure, you know, and I love my dad. He's amazing. But he certainly is not the most like masculine alpha guy, like quite the opposite. My dad has given me a wonderful thing in life. And I've said this before, I've had talks with my wife about this, especially when healing from the past, right? Because for sure, my dad and I have been through it and through some pretty ugly times. What allowed me to appreciate my dad more than I ever have first was becoming a father. And like now going through so many of the things that I'm sure he went through with me as a young kid and understanding him more. But yeah, it took me a long time to realize that being a macho man isn't my dad's superpower and it's not what he was put on this earth to do. And I was never okay with that. I didn't like it. I wanted that big, tough, strong, muscular dad because I saw other dads like that. And I was like, why is my dad not like that? And I'm not trying, I feel bad. I'm not trying to sit here like call my dad a pussy or anything, right? But here's the one thing that my dad gave me that I know a lot of dads don't give their sons. My dad taught me how to love, truly, truly love, which is actually like insanely valuable. And I grew up with my dad's a very, very affectionate, sentimental guy. And I hated it when I was young because you don't know how to receive love when you're young, right? You're an asshole. You're a punk teenager. So my dad would come and try to give me a hug and a kiss and I would brush him off, right? Because I didn't want it because I was angry, just like I told you. And so now I meet my wife and we have kids and I build a family. And dude, the first time I went home, actually, no, man, because I went home to visit in 2022, a few months before my first son was born, because I had to go back for a bunch of shit that went down. And then I went back again to visit for 2 weeks just by myself again in February of 2023. And then my dad came out for our wedding in June of 2023. And it was so different. Those February 2023 and June 2023, those were the last two times that I've seen him in person. I haven't seen him in person in over 2 years since our wedding. And it was so different then because after becoming a father and after reflecting on like him and who he was to me as a child and the way I looked at him as a child versus now becoming a father and looking at my dad and going, fuck, man. I have a good dad, right? And I've shed a lot of tears over this, and it's hit me really hard at times where I know I was super hard on my dad as a son, which is like you always think about like, is the dad hard on the kid, right? But it's like a two-way street, man. Like especially as a son, not a daughter, right? But as a son, you know what I mean? Like because now life has become full circle where I'm now teaching my dad shit that he never knew because he didn't grow up with a healthy father. Wow. His dad, my papa, was a raging alcoholic. and died from a heart attack when I was 8 years old. Passed out on the bathroom floor, and that was it, done. So my dad never got to say bye to his dad. He grew up with a fucked up childhood. And so he never learned how to become a hard man. And he was craving that affection from his father. So then all he wanted to do was give me that affection that he never had. And I never appreciated it. How fucking crazy is that, right? God. So then when I realized that later in life, like it made me look at things a lot different. So yes, I think as a teenager, I think that's what made me seek a lot of this stuff later in life, because I grew up like a pretty soft kid, you know, and I was really like emotional, and I was really insecure, and I also had like a bunch of shit wrong with me throughout life and health issues and all this kind of shit. Probably because I was, you know, on a processed foods diet for most of my life, and it wrecked my entire endocrine system and equilibrium. And ADHD medications at 12 years old, they started getting me on. So it's just like, there's a lot, man. But yeah, I think that is probably why I'm really passionate about being a strong man now, is because yes, I didn't grow up with that, but also learning to appreciate my father for what he did give me, which was like a really, really deep sense of how to love and how to treat my wife better and be a good husband and love my kids, like insanely deeply love my kids, which I do. I adore my children, and I love them and kiss them and tell them how much I love them, like 24/7, like, and to the point now where my oldest son, King, is 3 years old. Wow. Just in the past month, he is starting, not even the past month, the past like 2 weeks, he just went through a shift. He's starting to just randomly say, "I love you, Dada." And I'm like, I'm like, dude, oh my God, I could cry. You know what I mean? Because that's like just randomly throughout the day, "I love you, Dada." And I'm like,
what are the things your dad gave you a lot of love, which you're just incredibly grateful for and want to pass on to your kids? What are the things that you will consciously do different for your own children?
Oh, man, I mean, I'm not perfect. I mess up a lot because I've got a 3-year-old, an almost 2-year-old, and a newborn, and it's insane. And it's very new still. I'm still such a fresh dad. I'm only 3 years in, right? So it's still so new to me. And when I haven't slept and my 2-year-old's kicking me in the ribs at 11 o'clock at night and doesn't want to sleep and is laughing, and I'm like deliriously, like, you know what I mean? Like my eyes are watering because I'm so tired. And, you know, I'll sometimes snap and I'll be like, "Go to bed, go to sleep," you know? And then immediately I'm like, "Ugh, I shouldn't have yelled," you know? So I'm not perfect. And I'm not saying that I'm like better or anything, just things that I'm more aware of than my father was for sure, are like health. I mean, my dad didn't really have much of a sense of like health, right? And neither did my mom, neither did anyone back then, like we do now, right? And that's a time thing, you know what I mean? 30 years ago, shit was a lot different, right? So we're a lot more aware as a world as we were than we were before. So I'm definitely more conscious about what I'm feeding my children, and giving my children, and TV time and all that kind of stuff. Whereas I grew up on video games 24/7 and, you know, cartoons and just eating shit. Yeah, like literal shit. Yeah. Yeah, sugars and processed and McDonald's and Burger King. And yeah, so like that for sure is a big one for me. And I held a lot of resentment towards my parents for that for a long time. But, you know, you just learn to forgive and understand that they were doing the best they could and they didn't realize how bad it was. And so that's one thing for sure. The other thing that I am kind of doing my best at is to give them a little more freedom and not be so on them. But I can't really compare it yet, because how much memory do I have from the time I was 3 years old, right? Yeah. Like barely anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard. Like I remember the most from like my teenage years and on. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when I'm the most absorbent, and that's when I'm the most aware, and that's when the most shit went down, right? Yeah. So I haven't really gotten to the point yet where I can truly compare us as fathers. You know, I'm just at the beginning stages right now, and I don't know what my dad was doing when I was 1 and 2 and 3 years old, right? Yeah. So yeah, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, well, in your story, you get to Bali. You get to Bali. What does Bali reveal to you about yourself?
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I think what a lot of people go through when they get here, it's you get here and it's a whole different way of life. It's a whole different world, and you have that culture shock, and it's a lot more free and open, and everyone's more relaxed, and there's not this like crazy, city hustle. I mean, in some areas, yes, but for the most part, everyone's like pretty chill and just riding to the beach and surfing and shopping and eating food and whatever. And so I never experienced that before. So when I got here, I had this new perspective on like, wow, I can just, I feel like I can breathe. I never really felt like I could like breathe that much. I always felt so suffocated in the greater Philadelphia area that I spent most of my life, and speeding on the way to work every morning because I was late, because I was a terrible employee, because I hated my job, and I was literally late like every day. So waking up in the morning late, uh, smoking weed to start the day, altering my mind first thing in the morning because I didn't want to be with myself. I didn't want to sit with myself. I didn't want to sit with my reality of what my life was becoming and what it was unfolding to. And so I would numb myself in the morning first thing, and then I would race to work because I was late, which would induce severe anxiety because I'm speeding to work, right? And then I would get to my job and chug a coffee to combat the tired, feeling, which just induced the anxiety even more. So yeah, I just like, that was my life. And then I get here and it's like, whoa, right? And there's like health everywhere. And there's like, I'm taking wheatgrass shots, and I'm drinking coconuts, and I'm just like parking up on the beach and having some tuna tartare. And I just, yeah, I think it revealed that I didn't have to be the way that I thought I had to be. I thought that I was destined to be a pothead, drink on the weekends. If I ever got lucky enough to start a family, I would be working the job and then just coming home to say goodnight to my kids and have a couple beers and go to bed. Or just be like stuck in the 9 to 5. Like, I just thought that's what I was destined for. Truly. I didn't know that certain people could actually become entrepreneurs. It sounds crazy, but like, I actually believed that I could not become a millionaire. I truly believed that I wasn't able to be an entrepreneur. Like, I believed in my heart, I was convicted to the fact that I was not able to be that type of person. I thought only certain people could do that. I didn't even know as an American that I could just move to Bali. I didn't even know Bali existed, right? But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just didn't know it. So when I got here and I'm like buzzing around on a motorbike and just like pulling up to cafes and like working off a laptop at a coffee shop, and I was just like, dude, oh my God. So I learned a lot about myself in a sense that I could do more. Bali really opened up my eyes to the possibility of abundance. I think is really what I got the most in the beginning of my journey. Is, wow, life is abundant. I can have whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. And it took me a while to get to a very high level of that, because even when I got here, I still didn't think that I had the ability to be like super rich. Now I'm like, yeah, sky's the limit, dude. I could do it. I could become a fucking trillionaire, right?
Yeah, wow.
At some point in my life.
You know
what I mean? I don't think I want to be a trillionaire. That's a lot of responsibility, right? But I'm just saying, like, for the sake of the mindset, it's like I could truly believe that I can do anything now. But it took me a long time to get to that point. So I just think that Bali helped really open up that perspective of like, dude, life is abundant. You can do anything you want.
Oh my God, bro. So it wasn't like one thing, right? One moment or one shift where it was like, oh, I can be an entrepreneur. It was just a slow sort of progression into getting that limiting belief out of the brain and through, I guess, being in a routine and being abundant for little things.
Mm-hmm.
Is that sort of what happened with your experience?
Yeah, it was a gradual thing. But when you get here, you go through that initial culture shock, of course, and it's just so different, obviously, here than America. It's like a completely alternate universe that doesn't exist over there. And so that makes you completely reconsider everything that you've ever thought about being an American who's never really traveled outside of America much, besides going to like a little all-inclusive resort in Mexico one time a year, or, you know what I mean? Like, whatever, like, which is what I always did. I always just went like the stay at a resort, don't even travel outside the resort. So I never even knew, like, even if I did go to Mexico or I went to Dominican Republic one time, I never knew anything outside of the resort. Yeah. So it was like, I never
People say they're going traveling.
Yeah, I'm traveling, sit by the pool.
Nusa Dua resort.
Yeah, sit by the pool and go to the buffet all day and drink the pool slushy. Anyway, so that's the biggest thing I got, I think, from Bali. But hey, Bali gave me the woman of my dreams, my soulmate. My wife is like the most amazing woman ever, and I'm so proud of her, and I'm so in love with her, and I'm so grateful for her. I pray to God every day, thanking him for sending me her. She's given me 3 sons in 3 years, absolute warrior of a woman, all natural birth every time. She's just awesome. And Bali gave me 3 sons. This island has given me so much that, like, you know what I mean? That I just would not have gotten anywhere else. So yeah, I don't know, man. Bali is, it's just been nothing but a blessing, to be honest.
Has meeting the love of your life and having 3 kids shifted your definition of success?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
Big time, man.
What does success look like for you now?
Oh, success is the whole picture. I actually really don't get impressed by money anymore.
Wow.
And I don't say that in this like, you make, $100 million a year. Oh, that's whatever. No, like, that's fucking awesome, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you have a 9-figure business. I am thoroughly impressed, but I guess I'll rephrase that. I don't like look at people like, oh my God, I'm going to idolize you. Like, I'm going to really like, no, dude. What really truly impresses me is the guys that have the business and the family. Like, I look at fathers, dude. I really look at fathers and fathers who are also husbands who have not gone through divorce, who have not, like, and I'm sorry, but like, if you've gone through divorce, like, I do look at you differently, because now I understand, because my wife and I do not, like, we did not have a perfect relationship. Actually, our story is insane too, of how we've gotten to where we've gotten. So to know what I've gone through to build my relationship with my wife and let it flourish into what it's become was hard fucking work. Hard work that most men in this world actually won't ever even do themselves or make the effort to do. But I worked at my marriage so much, like, really, bro, like, really, really hard. And so I know what it takes to do that, and to be a father, and to provide, and to also keep yourself going, right? Because what am I going to, I'm going to become like fat and lazy and because I'm a husband and I'm a father and I make money, so I guess I don't have to work out, right? Because I'm the provider. No, of course you do, dude. You're the whole picture, man. You're the rock. Husband's a rock, right? So what really impresses me for sure, and what I think is true success is the whole picture. I don't like when I see all these, like, I don't know who's one of the popular dudes now, fucking TJR, TJR,
Yeah.
and respect to TJR,
Yeah,
right?
bro.
So full respect to TJR for what he's done financially for himself. But like, I don't like, I don't compare myself to him at all, because he doesn't have a wife, he doesn't have kids, so of course he's gonna ball out and make crazy money. He's got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't have that time.
Wow.
And I'm sure I'll make it for myself one day as I continue to build more businesses that'll pay me more passive income and whatever, and I'll create that freedom eventually. But like, how we do not have the same 24 hours. Everyone's like, we have the same 24 hours. No, motherfucker. I've got 3 kids in 3 years. We do not have the same 24 hours if you've got no kids and you're single, right? So, I think the most successful people are the ones that have it all. You know, if you're a man, you got a healthy marriage, you got children that you're raising properly, you're taking care of yourself physically and mentally and making sure that you're like good, like internally, and you've got a relationship with God. That's the package. And you're making money. That's it. Wow. So how many things, right? So marriage, kids, self, God, money. That's those 5 things, in my opinion. That's a solid motherfucker right there.
Yeah.
That's what I look up to. That's what inspires me.
That's a great lesson, even for someone like myself that's on the other end that hasn't got kids or a marriage or anything like that. I actually think about this a lot now, bro, of how I guess lucky I am right now to have all the time that,
Utilize
to have
it,
that
bro.
time.
Utilize
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, I wasted a lot of it, bro. I essentially wasted my 20s, right? Like dicking off with my life, chasing women, being an idiot, getting drunk, blacking out every weekend when I was still back in Pennsylvania. And then even when I got to Bali and met my wife in December 2020, I mean, she got pregnant in October of 2021. So even for those 10 months, I mean, all we did was just mess around and go out and, bounce around to cool Airbnbs. And that's great. It's not like it was a waste of time, but I was not in any sense building anything, right? Not realizing that we were about to start a family. And so I lost my entire 20s to lack of discipline and I built nothing. So here I am at 30 now, 3 years ago, going, wow, I've got jack shit. I need to start figuring my life out because now I've got a family. And then we got pregnant again in February 2023 with our second. So then I was like, okay, this is out of hand, dude. I'm like a loser right now. Like I need to get going. And I was and in the beginning of 2023, when we got pregnant with my second son, I had roughly $125,000 of credit card debt. Nobody even most people don't even realize that. Like I did not like my like social media, personal brand, financial situation, all that catapulted just last year. I wasn't broke last year. And I've always made money since 2019 online, but I was an idiot with it. I was overspending and I was trying to live a life that I could not afford. And I was making income, but I was just racking up credit card debt and I just did not have a plan of what I was doing. And so 2023 is when it started really getting good. I started making good money through TikTok, but once again was not managing it properly. And then I paid off all my debt. And then I went back into another, I don't even know, 50, 70K of credit card debt again with a couple bad investments as well, which was my fault in early 2024. And then 2024, the beginning of last year is when I was I got to stop dicking around, truly stop dicking around. And I think I started getting my shit in gear in 2022, but truly got my shit into gear just last year in the beginning of 2024. And then by the end of 2024, because I was so focused all year, grinding my ass off, bro, my life was like a rocket ship. And a lot of it happened after I got baptized in August of 2024. I got baptized in August, had my best financial month ever in October of 2024. At that time, I've beaten that month since then, but I've my whole financial situation skyrocketed starting in October of 2024. And since then, it's just been insane. And the opportunities that have been flying at me, the projects that I'm working on now, the businesses that I'm working on now, everything has come to fruition. But yeah, bro, it was not always like that at all.
What has the role of faith in God played in your journey?
Oh my God, dude, everything. Seriously, everything. I mean, I'm a Christian, and I was raised a Christian, but I always, and you and I talked about this the other day, but we'll talk about it here again for the listeners. I always followed Jesus through my mom, and my mom got me in the church at 4 years old, and I was Bible study every Thursday, Sunday service, the summer camping trip with the whole, our pastor, Pastor Ken, shout out Pastor Ken. I actually just talked to him again recently, which was cool. My old pastor when I was a kid.
Wow.
He had 3 sons, which is also ironic. He had 3 sons, right? I have 3 sons. So he had 3 sons, which became my best friends, right? And him and his wife, Melanie, always treated me very well, almost like one of their kids. And so I grew up in that, but it was just part of my life that it was almost like autopilot. You know what I mean? Because it was just 4 years old. You're not really what are you thinking about in terms of Jesus and all that, right? You're aware of it, but you're not super dialed in with it for the most part. And so I just followed through my mom my whole life. And then in my 20s, she went through some personal life shit and I watched her crumble. So I looked at my mom. I think I was following my mom as if she was God instead of following God as if God was God. And so when my mom, AKA my God, crumbled, it was okay, now what? Right. So I stopped believing. I was like, this is why you always preach Jesus, 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 but look at you, you're a mess right now. So So I didn't have my own relationship with Jesus. So when that fell out, when she didn't fall out, her faith is solid, but like she just went through some personal life shit. And I didn't understand Christianity enough at that time to understand that Christians and are still sinners.
Yeah.
We're all sinners. And that's the whole point. That's the whole story of Jesus. Jesus came down to earth to save us because he realized that we're going to keep messing up. So anyway, not to get all spiritual and biblical here, but like when that happened and I fell out of my religion, I stopped believing everything. I started getting pulled back in my own way that I never got pulled before. And I started seeing all these new signs. And I have a crazy story I'll tell you in a second. But essentially, there was a lot of key people and a lot of key events and a lot of videos on TikTok, especially that I saw, not only dealing with the light, but the dark. A lot of demonic stuff that the dark demonic stuff is actually a huge reason that also pushed me back towards Christianity, because I was like, wow, if there's this much blasphemy towards Christianity from like a lot of the, Hollywood celebrities doing crazy satanic shit on the platforms and all that in the stages, I'm like, if there's that much blasphemy against it, like everything in life is a polar opposite. So that's kind of what like also brought me back. But crazy story. In 2023, when I went home for that 2 weeks in February, I had gone up to New York for the day to visit my aunt and uncle up there, and my cousins up there. And I was driving home, and one of my good friends, who is a Christian, who definitely played a key role in me getting my faith back, I was talking to him at that time because this was when I was out of the faith still. And I was talking to him about it off and on, asking him a lot of questions. And so I had a long drive from New York to Philly. So I was like, hey, bro, I'm driving home. Let's chat. So we hopped on the call and we're talking. And it's nighttime. So it's probably whatever, 6, 7 o'clock, dark out. And we're talking about Christianity. Bro, on the highway, like somewhere between New York and Philly. It's like a 4-hour drive, 3-hour drive. Okay, whatever. On the highway in the middle of nowhere, like, like when you're on the US highway and it's just like woods on each side. Bro, there is a giant glowing cross in the distance, like a humongous giant glowing cross. Because there's places in like Pennsylvania and whatever that like plant these huge crosses, but it's just like, we're like talking about it. And then like I look over and it's like, boom, it's like right there. And I have goosebumps right now, because that was a crazy moment, dude. And it was so surreal. And I was talking and I just like, I went speechless. And I remember my buddy was like, bro, you there? Like, you there? And I'm like, dude, like, you'll never believe what I just saw. So there was just like so many moments, dude, like that. And that's what brought me back. And then when I got baptized last year, it was through my own relationship with Christ. And it was through my own my own understanding of my misunderstanding, understanding that I actually really don't understand this whole thing, this whole Jesus thing, but I'm willing to learn. And my teachability index, like I told you before, is much higher now than it was before. And that I'm learning as a true Christian now than just accepting the fact that this is how it is because my mom told me so. And so like now I'm entering this spiritual journey of Christianity with this like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to explain it perfectly, but I'm trusting and I'm putting my faith in the fact that Jesus is Lord, and that's what I'm going with. So I'm putting my faith in that. I'm putting everything in that faith. And so now you asked like, how has faith played a role? It's like, it's everything, bro. It's like, I mean, I'm putting everything into my faith that God will do the work. God will steer the wheel if I keep the gas pumping. Right. And that's like how I look at life now is I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where I'm going next. I don't know what could even happen in the snap of a finger. Every single moment, something insane could happen in the world. You cannot understand it and you cannot do anything about it other than doing the work and the necessary steps to progress your life forward, and then just yielding and surrendering to God and letting him steer the wheel, because that's what God wants is like, faith without action is nothing, but faith plus action is fulfillment, right? So then as long as you have the faith and you take the actions to do what God wants you to do, he will guide you along the way and tell you where to go next. So faith is like everything for me, bro. It's like literally everything now. And without it, I'm lost. I'm like completely lost. And I think that's why I got so lost for a while, is because I was not practicing my faith. And throughout my 20s, I became a womanizer, like I told you, and I was seeking lust so much, and I was addicted to pornography for like a long time of my life, like really addicted to porn, dude. Like I just could not break out of it. And porn is like the most addictive thing in the world, dude. It's
Yeah,
like
bro.
worse than crack. It's like horrible. It's the most accessible. It's the most like binding thing that it binds your soul too, right? So I was just like not living through Christ for a long time, and I just didn't know where to go, and I didn't put my faith in him because I wasn't being intentional or aware enough with what I was doing. So it's like I got baptized, and now I'm just like, oh, I've got a moral guideline again. Okay, well, what do I got to do? Well, I don't know what I got to do, but I'm going to do what I think is right, and then I'm going to trust God to do the rest. So it's everything, dude. It's literally everything.
Oh my God, brother. I love that so much. And it reminds me of one of my idols. His name's David Nika. He's a professional boxer
Hmm.
back home in New Zealand. He's in Australia at the moment.
Nice.
And he said something in his second professional bout. He said, I don't have a lot of faith, or I don't have faith in a God, but I have a lot of faith in myself. And I remember, he's a great man, by the way. He's a terrific man, actually.
Mhm.
And I remember listening to that and thinking, well, I resonated with that a lot. I was like, yeah, like before every podcast, before every acting audition, before every fight, I come back to the actions. I'd make sure that I have a lot of faith in doing. But the difference between me and David in this example is I've always craved or wanted to have faith in something bigger than just me as well.
Yeah.
And so although I resonated with that wholeheartedly and making sure, it comes back to preparation, right? And preparing for the thing that you're doing.
Hmm.
If you're performing, if you're doing whatever.
Hmm.
But I guess I'm currently on this journey of what faith means to me and what
Yeah.
that looks like to me. But
It's complicated, bro. It takes time, and I think you're on the right track with saying that there's something bigger than you, because that's really like where it starts. That's where
yeah,
it started for me too. Is like like I said, when that relationship with Jesus crumbled because my mom's life started crumbling, and I felt like I had no one to follow Christ through anymore because I wasn't following through myself. I just let go of Christianity, and I just said, okay, there's a higher power, but I don't believe in Jesus. I don't believe in the Bible. I don't believe in anything. I think it's all a hoax. And I was also angry, because fun fact, my wife is Muslim. So
wow,
that's a whole nother journey in itself right now that we're
okay,
going through together
you
and
bro,
somehow making work, by the grace of God. Thank God. But like my wife is Muslim. And then my mom, basically what happened with my mom is, she was married to my stepdad for 12 years when I was 12 to 24, divorced, met her old boyfriend a year later, and then they were together for like 5, 6 years. Essentially, the reason that the breakup with him finally happened was because he wasn't Christian, and she just couldn't like keep doing it. And she didn't feel right about it. So I was like, come on, you finally found a guy that like treats you well, and you're just like bailing on him because he's not Christian. And like, because my wife is Muslim, and I'm sticking it out, not even understanding where that's going to go either, but just once again, having faith that something's going to happen and work out. I have no idea yet. Everything, faith is everything. Faith is literally holding my marriage together, bro. And it's thriving too. We have a great marriage right now. But like at that point, I was like, I hated religion, right? Because I'm like, this is what separates us, man. Like religion is made to separate us. So now we've got Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Jewish, right? Like it's all like
confusion.
it's all confusion to keep us all separated. And so I was like pissed off. And I was like, you know what, man? That's why I was like, forget religion. And that's why I'm like, there's just a God. But like that is that in that when I decided to like denounce myself from Christianity back in I think 2023, that's like where my new journey started, was just believing that there was a God. I wasn't closed off to like a higher power, because some people are just full on atheists and just believe in dinosaurs and shit. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro. Sorry, I should not have said that. See, I'm a sinner. I just use the Lord's name in vain. I'm sorry, God. It happens. Okay. But like at least understanding that there's a God That's like step number one. Because you got to believe there's something up there that's bigger than us, dude.
For sure, brother.
Some of us can't even figure out what gender we are. You know what I mean? And you think that we're the superior, right? Come on, dude. Humans are stupid, man. We're struggling, dude. So we need a higher power, right? Like we do not have it figured out.
Absolutely, bro.
We're fighting over skin color down here. You know what I'm saying? Idiots, man. We're all idiots.
Cats and shit. You know what I mean? Crazy, bro.
Yeah, I identify as a salmon today.
Yeah. Like, come on, man. Fucking
on Tuesday, I'll be a curtain.
Yeah.
Come on, brother. We need a God, dude. Yeah. Amen. Amen,
brother,
bro.
I love it. Well,
that's funny.
Since you got baptized last year in August?
August, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Just had my 1 year mark.
And since then, everything's just taken off in your business.
Dude, it's been a good year.
Yeah, bro.
God's been really good, man. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. I guess diving into more of, what you do, content creation, entrepreneurship. Have you always taken it seriously or treated your content like a business?
No. So I'll give you like my content creation come up in a nutshell. Okay. So 2019 is that's when I told you, like when I was in that real estate office, I started looking at all these little Instagram dudes and they're just posting cool pictures of themselves. So I was like, okay, I can do that. I can post little candid shots of myself. So I went out to Best Buy, bought myself a $20 tripod on sale, and drove to like some office building on a Sunday when no one was there and just like set up the tripod outside of the revolving door because I thought it looked cool and just took a picture of myself walking out of it and wrote a motivational caption and posted it. And that was my first ever like content creation. Yeah, wow. was that picture back when like Instagram pictures were like really cool before like Reels came in and everything, and before TikTok came in. And so that was May of 2019, and I posted that picture, and then I started posting pictures and cleaning up my profile, and then that's when I started networking, and I paid that guy to teach me Instagram and just how to like build myself a personal brand and sell, and the e-com guy. And so those guys though, unfortunately, did not lead me very well. So when I got out to Arizona in August of 2019 and I started working with those guys in their office, they were like, okay, look, Instagram's dead. You can't like gain followers anymore organically. It's which actually at the time was kind of partially true. In 2019, Instagram was brutal. It was like, there was like nothing happening with it. Like you were posting and getting like 4 likes unless you were like a huge influencer. They did like, not everyone could go viral on Instagram back in 2019 like it is now, right? They fixed the algorithm to make it more like TikTok now. So now there's the For You page, but that didn't exist. So they weren't wrong. However, what they did was these little celebrity giveaways, and celebrity giveaways is where the celebrity will give away, or like an influencer will give away like a bunch of, cash or like Louis Vuitton stuff or iPads and iPhones and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, hey, if you want to win all this, go follow everyone that's following this page. And they'll tag the page and it's like, at ABC giveaways or whatever. And then the ABC giveaways page is only following the people who paid them to follow them. So you could pay to be followed by the giveaway page, but they would only take like 50 spots or 75 spots or 100 spots, right? So it's like super limited. And then the influencer posts, everybody sees it and like, oh, I want to win that. And they're like, how do I do it? And they follow the instructions and they click on that giveaway page, and then they click on who it's following, because you can click on see what page is following it. And then they just go follow. So they're like, this is how you gain followers. You get yourself in as a sponsor of the giveaway. You gain a bunch of followers. So I'm like, here I am, right? Like, like living under a rock for 27 years, not knowing anything about life, drove across the United States, $300 in my bank account, right? Like no idea what to do other than to make it, super vulnerable. And I was just like, okay, I believe you, right? Because like I'm young, I'm naive, I'm stupid. I'm like fresh into the entrepreneur scene, like trying to figure it out. And I was just like, okay, well, you guys are the experts. I'm just a stupid kid from Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. So here we go. And I did this giveaway and I gained like 10,000 followers overnight. And I'm looking at these followers. It's like a bunch of Brazilian girls. I'm like, what the hell is this? They're like, oh yeah, sometimes they're international. And I'm like, dude, you didn't say that, right? So I start gaining all these like international, like Brazilian girl, Russian girl, like female influencer followers. And then it's just like a bunch of random like Kazakhstan people coming in. So my reach all of a sudden was like wrecked because I'm getting all these foreigner followers, and some of them are bots too. They're like botting the accounts when they don't meet the minimum follower thing. So I'm like, dude, oh my God, my Instagram's wrecked. Now back then, I wasn't a content creator and I was a nobody. And once again, my belief system was completely shot, and I never thought that I could be somebody. So I went with it. I just said, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to grow my account with all these like international followers. And if they're bots, I don't even care, whatever. I never hit the buy fake followers. I just kept doing these celebrity campaigns over and over again. And so I blew up my Instagram account with all these international followers. And that was for 3 years. Wow. And during that 3 years, I also did TikToks just a little bit here and there. Went viral several times. Randomly gained like 200,000 followers on TikTok over 3 years, because that's TikTok came out in 2019. And it was like, those were wild days, dude. Like everybody could just gain like thousands of followers for no reason. So I got lucky with that, gained like 200K followers over those 3 years, but wasn't really doing it like at all. Was barely doing it full time. In 2021, I tried YouTube, and I did Indonesian food reviews because my wife told me that as a bule, right? As a Westerner, I could go viral eating Indonesian food and she was partially right. I had a couple of videos do really well.
Great concept.
Right. Didn't like having diarrhea after eating lots of spicy food, so I quickly bailed on that. Okay. Yeah. Awful. So when I did this one video though, we had this old nanny. Her name was Katu. And I asked her, I said, hey, can you go and get a whole bunch of these dishes? I give her a bunch of Balinese, Indonesian, whatever dishes. I say, can you buy all this stuff, cook it for us? I'll pay you and whatever. She's like, yeah, sure. One of the things on there was goat testicle satay, meaning they get the goat testicles, they put them on skewers and they grill them. She could not get those that day. This was October of 2021. Bro, tell me how 6 months later, in April of 2022, okay, she randomly texts me and goes, hey, I found the goat testicle. Do you still want them? Shout out Katu. Wow. Because without those testes, I would not be who I am right now.
No
That
way.
was the catapult, bro.
Was it?
So she gets those testicles. She brings them, okay? And bro, it was from a random local family-owned goat satay little teeny tiny store in like Mangui. Bro, that's like 30 minutes north from here, okay?
Yeah.
I don't even know what she was doing up there or why she was there, but she was. Shout out Katoot. I'm like, okay, sure. Bring them. Why not, right? For shits and giggles. I'm like, I'll post them on my Instagram story and make some of my friends laugh and get a reaction out of everybody, okay? She brings them. It's like the full goat shaft with the testy hanging off. I'm like, this is insane. And back then, Liver King was popping off. So I had seen him eat the raw bull testicle like in the end of 2021. And so since in those 6 months, I had tried like some raw liver, and I'd started kind of already adapting to like the not carnivore diet, but like a lot of the animal based raw liver, some raw eggs, doing some bone marrow, but never anything crazy.
Yeah.
So when she found those, I was like, oh, perfect. This is like kind of trending right now, right? Like Liver King's popping off. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Bro, I posted on my Instagram story. Everyone's like DMing, like, oh my God, this is crazy, this is crazy, 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 crazy. And I'm like, you know what? I haven't posted a TikTok in months, man. I had it. My TikTok was like, I was doing nothing. I was like, I haven't posted a TikTok in months. I should make a TikTok. Oh, dude, bro. Wow. I said, babe, film me. Yeah. I get my wife to film me. And I grab the whole thing. I'm holding it like I'm holding the shaft in my hand. The ball's dangling. And I'm like, all right, go. And she hits go. And I'm like, I forget, what did I say? I said, who wants testicle? Just like that. That was it, bro. And wow. I filmed. I was like, this is how we eat. We're going to eat raw goat testicles. And I cut them open and I scraped it off and I took a bite. Post that. I go to bed. I wake up. It's at like 60,000 views overnight, which at that time was like crazy for me. And I was like, whoa. And just in that moment, I was like, I need to do it again. And so then I like filmed it again, posted again. And like, bro, the next video I made with like, I think I did like a blue rare steak and eggs and then some testy on the side. And it was like 500K views in like 5 hours. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm like, this is it. So after that second video, I was like, I'm going all in. And I signed a contract with myself that day. And I said, I am posting every single day from here on out. I will never miss a day on TikTok. And I'm going to blow up and I'm going to be a famous content creator. And I was at 200K at that time in April of 2022. Okay. I start posting, bro. I'm by the third day video it was another testicle video, did like 5 million views in a week.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, this is it, dude. And now everyone's watching me. I'm blowing up. Okay. By July, I have my most viral video ever to this day. It was how to eat a testicle in 3 steps. I mean, you could literally search this on Google. It's got like 38 million views or something like that. That's my most viral one. And that video was just rocket ship and all over the internet. Everyone's reposting it. Tons of famous content creators reposting, or not reposting, but stitching and duetting it and reacting to it. It just went ham. And then I also did another video because the Liver King and all them always talked about perineum sunning your bum, your bum hole. I did one of those with my wife too, and that went crazy. About all these dermatologists are like commenting and reposting and talking about it, saying we're gonna get like butthole cancer. And so and then like all the influencers like make a video. So those 2 videos that summer, July and August, just went crazy. By after July, when that video hit, because I mean, bro, I think I gained like 200,000 followers in a month. Wow. In that month of like July and August, I think I gained around like 180K it was or something like that. And so by now I'm at like 500,000 in like a few months, and because I was gaining like over 100,000 a month, like every month. So by July, I'm like, I'm gonna hit 1 million followers before the year is over. I told this to my wife, and I said, you know what? I said, I'm gonna say right now, I'm hitting 1 million followers before the year is over. And it might even happen like on New Year's Eve. I said this in July, 3 p.m. on December 31st, I hit 1 million followers.
Oh my God.
Legitimate. I can't make it up, man. Wow. Legitimately. 3 p.m. on December 31st, I hit 1 million.
Wow.
So in 8 months, I went from 200K to 1 million. So 100K a month for 8 months. And then that was just, since then, I've just never stopped. So now we're talking, what's April to now? What is it now? So September?
Now September.
So we're talking 3 years and 5 months. I've posted every day on TikTok, multiple times a day. Yeah, how many posts is that? I don't know. It's well over 1,000, right?
So consistency.
1,300 posts in a row or something like that. 1,300 days in a row, roughly.
Bro. Well, now you've grown on TikTok to like 3.2 million or
3.2.
3 million.
3.2, yeah.
800 and something thousand on Instagram. 3
million followers in a little over 3 years I gained.
Welcome to the Martin Show First Ad Break. For anyone who is wanting to go on a new journey, learn a new skill, we have started our basic beginners boxing fundamentals course. For anyone, if it's your first time, if you're a seasoned member, this is the course for you in the boxing space or fitness space. Click the link below or go to onlineboxingtraining.com and I'll see you guys there. Let's get to mahi, eh? But how about this? If you lost your following today, what is the first thing you'd do?
Okay, first thing I do, starting over. It's funny, man. Before I came here, I did a TikTok live. I rarely do TikTok live. I felt motivated to get on today, and I ended up preaching. And I had a lot of people DM me after that live today and say thank you for it. But I was talking about this on live. If I had to start over tomorrow, please God, don't make me start over tomorrow. I don't want to, but if I had to, definitely commit to posting every day. That's number one. Don't be lazy. Just post, and don't overthink it. Just post, and don't overcomplicate it. Just post. So keep it stupid simple. KISS, right? Keep it stupid simple. And what you want to do is you want to test the algorithm in as many ways as possible. Because if you're a new content creator, if you're a new account, the algorithm does not know you yet. Therefore, your account is not going to be favored in any direction. And it's basically just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. And so this is what I did with my wife. I also helped my wife go viral, and she's now a famous influencer in Indonesia as well. And what I did with her is, because I went viral in April 2022. And like I said, I gained 1 million throughout the year. And so now she's like a new mom. We had just had our kid 2 months after this, our firstborn, June 2022. She's like new mom, recovering postpartum. She's like depressed, oh, I'm a mom. I have nothing. I have no job anymore. Like, I'm like, well, first of all, you don't need a job. You're good. Like I'm a man. I can provide, right? But I want you to be happy. So we got to figure out something for you to do. And I was like, just build your personal brand. Cause she was like trying to build a fashion brand. I'm like, you don't have anything to build off of, right?
Wow.
So I'm like, stop trying to build a brand and just build your personal brand, just post content. And so I had her get a piece of paper and I say, write down everything that interests you, all your hobbies, what you're passionate about, anything you enjoy, write it down. So she writes down, gym, working out, fashion, makeup, clothes, food, being a wife, being a mom, like, everything. Right. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, every single one of these is a video. So I'm said, start making a video. And this was the end of 2022. She didn't listen to me. Okay. And like months and months go by. And then, she's going through another like postpartum attack. And she's like, I'm like, build a personal brand. Cause she's like, I want to help. Cause back then I was struggling with money, like a lot. Like I was like really struggling with money. I wasn't making a lot. And she's like, I want to help you with money. I'm like, no, like I don't. Like, I'm going to figure it out. Don't worry. Like, I got us. I promise. I promise I got us, And of course, she wanted the life of being a mom and a wife, but I couldn't provide that type of life. Like I gave us not a bad life. Like we still lived in a 3-bedroom villa here in Bali and we were good and we were eating good food, but like we couldn't go shopping all the time and go stay at cool resorts and shit like that all the time. And so I'm like, just trust me, just have faith, but you need to be happy. So you need to start building something. And I was like, and if you don't know what to build your personal brand. And so she didn't listen to me. Months go by. It's like, bro, probably April 2023 at this point, like a year after I went viral, and she still hadn't started. She had like 10K followers on TikTok, like just normal account, right? And I was like, start doing that. I'm like, start doing this. So she finally listens to me, starts taking it seriously. I'll say, post every day, don't miss a day. Bro, I think it was like the 4th or 5th day she posted a food video, 500K views in like a day. And I was like, this is it. I was like, it's perfect. I'm a foodie. You're a foodie. This is perfect. I'm like, go all in. Go all in.
Wow.
And I'm like pummeling her with, I'm like, just go all in, like, please, like I'm drilling it in her head, like you gotta do this. I promise you it'll work out. And so she like listens to me and she does exactly what I tell her to do. And I helped her with a lot of the videos in the beginning. I was helping her edit. I was showing her how to like do it and showing her how to make them like get more views. And dude, within 2 weeks of her, it was like the end of April, within 2 weeks of her taking it seriously, May 10th of 2023, she posted a video and she got me involved. She said, can you do the food review? I'm like, sure, why not? So we reviewed an Indonesian soup, bakso bahari.
Okay.
Yo, this video goes astronomical. She goes from 10K to 200K in 12 days.
Oh my
and we're like famous all over Indonesia now. And everyone's like talking about us now, dude. Like the whole country is just like going nuts, right?
Wow.
And so that is what I would tell any new content creator is follow that process, is get a piece of paper, write down everything, post every day. It does not fucking matter. Nothing matters. You just need to see what works. And when you find something that works, you go all in on that. So my wife, she was posting the fashion posts. They weren't doing anything. She was posting the motherhood posts. They weren't doing anything. She was posting, I think a couple like couples trends posts and they weren't doing anything. And then the food one, boom. I said, dude, do another. And then what does she do? She went out and she got the boxo at the road stand, hits, 300K. I said, this is it. And then 2 weeks later, the boxo video with us, life changing.
Wow.
So she's at like 850K now or something like that on TikTok.
Oh my
so,
God.
so that's my strategy. If I were to start tomorrow, I would just start ripping random videos to see of whatever I liked. Cause you want to do something you like too, by the way. Okay. For all you content creators out there or aspiring content creators, don't be someone you're not. I'm looking right at the camera. I hope you're looking at me. You're watching this. Don't be someone you're not. And don't try to be someone you're not. Because I'll tell you what, the reason I haven't burnt out is because I'm just being myself. I'm just being me. And everyone loves to hate on me. Dude, I get lots of haters, man. Woo, do I got haters, dude. I got sick haters. I had to get the FBI involved before. That's how bad it's gotten sometimes, okay? So like, I got haters, dude. But what are you hating on? I'm just being myself, dude.
Yeah, bro.
So if y'all want to hate, it's fine. but I'm not burning out. And it's crazy too, because some people will be like, oh, the fall off needs to be studied. I'm like, bro, what is falling off? I am consistently gaining more followers, getting more views, and making more money every year since doing this. Every year has compounded in more. I'm gaining more followers now than I ever have. I'm making way more money now than I ever have. Way more, right? My views right now, I'm doing 1.5 billion views a year on TikTok.
Oh my God.
Just TikTok. No other platform. 1.5 billion per year. So why the fuck would you ever listen to anyone outside who has no idea what's going on inside? So don't worry about it. Just post.
Pauly Long, what a story, brother. There's so much lessons in there. My final question, though, is one day when your kids grow up, and if they listen or watch this conversation, what is the one message you'd want them to take away from their father's story?
Oh, whoa, that's a deep question, bro. Man. Well, as of right now, my sons, King, Thunder, and Lion, those are my boys' names. That's my wife. She likes the strong names. I went with it. So King, Thunder, and Lion, boys, I would want them to know that the most important thing in this life is family, number one. I've learned that through having these boys, is that like literally nothing else matters at all. And the best times that I've ever had that made me smile the biggest and laugh the hardest have been with my sons and my wife. So you should always strive to build that and keep it as happy and healthy as you possibly can. Be patient, love each other. I didn't have brothers growing up, always wanted brothers. So when I had 3 boys, it was just awesome for me to see that and know that they're going to grow up with each other, and I'm going to teach them how to work together and love each other and be a force to reckon with. And really just to never allow anyone to affect your energy in a way that can bring you down. When my wife said that she wanted to name our son's King, our first son King, I said, no, that's ridiculous, because I was in my old mindset. And then I softened up to it and said, okay, let's roll with it. Let's do it. And now I think it's the coolest thing. And then when she said, okay, I want to name the second one Thunder, I said, no, that's ridiculous. Thunder, what kind of name is that? Once again, it grew on me, and I said, okay, you know what? That's badass. Let's do it. Third one, she said Lion. I said, oh my God. And then 5 seconds later, I said, I'm not doing this again. You're right. That's epic. People are going to hate those. People are going to hate on my kids. They already do. People hate on my children right now. They say negative things about my kids because of their names. They're fucking 3 and 1 and how many months old? Okay. Insane to be hating on toddlers and babies. But I wouldn't have it any other way, because I know what's going to happen when these kids get older. They're going to meet people who don't like it. Oh, your name's King? Your name's Thunder? Your name's Lion? What stupid name is that? I'm not calling you that. Cool. Good. I hope it works out like that, because my sons are going to be, first of all, going to be strong mentally and physically. They're going to be healthy, and they're going to actually have confidence. So boys, keep that confidence in yourself always, please, no matter what. Have confidence. Know who you are at heart. Stay right with God. Stay close to God. Let him guide you. And do not worry about what anyone says about you, because they will, and it's okay. You just keep moving forward. That's all that matters.
Pauly Long, my brother. Everyone probably already follows you, but if they don't, where can they find you, man?
Pauly Long, PAULYLONG, on all platforms.
That concludes another episode of The Martin Show. We will drop Pauly's details below. Make sure you're subscribing to this channel. We'll also drop _ The Martin Show. We're going to be back next week for another episode. Modi ora, kia ora. Thank you.